Last week, I got a cash payout of $3,600 just for buying inventory for my Amazon FBA business online. Now, to be clear, to reemphasize, this is not cash payouts from Amazon. This is just a quarterly payout for making purchases for inventory online. And that's why I want to make this video while it's top of mind. You need to be using sites like Rakuten and have a good understanding of them if you're doing online arbitrage. In this video, I'm going to go over how it works. I'm going to take you into my computer and give you some real life, real-time examples, how I utilize these sites to get a starting point for sourcing when I don't know where to go, and just kind of share with you the mentality and how I use them because it's really an integral part of my online arbitrage business. Also, real quick, I'm never salesy. I don't ask for likes. I don't ask for subscribers. If you're not using Rakuten and you do online arbitrage or are thinking about it, I'm going to put a link in the description below. You get 30 free bucks. I get 30 free bucks. It costs you nothing. Even if you don't do online arbitrage, you're going to be making purchases online where you'll get cash back regardless, and it really does add up. So if you want to help a brother out and you're going to use Rakuten anyway, at least use my link below, and I'll leave it at that. Also, one last thing before we get started, I'm just going to refer to all these tools and extensions as Rakuten for the video. There's a handful of them. They're basically all the same, but I don't want to have to say 5 different ones all the time, so we're just going to say Rakuten. All right, so first things first, how does this work? Why is it free? Why do we get cash back? How do they get paid, etc.? Here's the gist of it. They have relationships with hundreds and thousands of online websites. So let's just say Walgreens.com, right? So Walgreens.com says to Rakuten, hey, if you can drive traffic and the customer makes a purchase, we'll give you a percentage back of that sale, okay? So then Rakuten in turn says to us, the customer, hey, if you make a purchase on Walgreens and you go through us first, since we get a kickback, we'll give you a portion of that. So this way, Walgreens gets a sale, Rakuten gets a kickback, and then we get a kickback as well, and it's free to join those sites and extensions, so we all win. And that's how it works in a nutshell. Alrighty, so just to show you how it works, I'm going to target.com and let's see what happens, okay? So here we have 2 pop-ups that have appeared. I haven't done anything except go to the website. We have Rakuten on the right that says activate 1% cashback, and we have Rebates Me that says activate 0.1% cashback. By the way, these are on the incredibly low side. I'll talk about this more later. You might say that'll never lead to anything. I would say the average is around 3%. But just for this example, this is what happens when I come here. So what I would do naturally is pick the one that has a higher percentage cashback, of course, right? So what's nice about having multiple ones is that they're gonna be competing against each other. I don't know how they determine their numbers or their relationships, but I always just go with the highest one. If they're ever the same, I do go with Rakuten because I think it's just the best site for a variety of reasons. It just feels better, it's more intuitive, more professional, etc. So here what I'll do is click activate 1% cashback with Rakuten. I really like how it shows us that it's been activated. Here's a pop-up from Rebates Me that's still letting me say, hey, if you want to switch to us, you can. By the way, you can't double dip. You can only use one of them. So now what I would do is simply go about my purchasing on target.com as if I would anyway. And for every $100 I spend, I'm going to get $1 cash back. What happens is that I'll go to my Rakuten account and they pay you out on a quarterly basis. Now, here I am in Rakuten.com and I want you to see kind of what it looks like. So let's just say I'm brand new to online arbitrage. I really don't know where to start. I'm not familiar with stores. Well, a natural thing to do should be going to Rakuten and seeing what the current cashback percentages are and starting at some of them that have high ones. So for instance, Nike 8%, CVS 10%, Macy's 4%, Adidas 8%, Under Armour 8%, right? Again, I would say the average is 3, and I would say that I've seen these as high as 15% on certain weeks or certain holidays. I find that Mondays very frequently they have higher ones. It's probably a slower sales day, and that's why. So if you don't know where to start, this is a great starting spot. Or even if you're a veteran and you do know a lot of sites, you might say, hey, I'm comfortable with a handful of these sites. Let me put my efforts on ones that have the highest percentage cashback, because as you can imagine, 10% cashback, that really adds up. And it can also make items that maybe are on the cusp or don't make sense to buy make sense now because you're getting that additional 10% back on top of it. By the way, something that's really nice about this money and the fact that it is delayed when it comes to you in a weird way is that this is not taxable income. I'm not a tax professional, I'm not an accountant, but everything I've researched online and spoke to accountants about indicates this is seen as like a discount, right? And the fact that you get it later on, for me, what I like to do mentally, I'm keeping all of this stuff aside for taxes that I have to pay at the end of the year. I'm not saying it's gonna be exact amount, but it's gonna be a nice chunk. And to me, it's kind of like found money, right? And so even though it's not, it's factored into my decision-making process, but that's just something I like to do to play games with myself. It's almost like a little savings account for taxes. And when I do get the payout, I can push it aside, put it into inventory, then put it aside, or whatever the case may be, however you wanna do it. But just know it's not considered income, it's seen as a discount. Okay, so now let's talk about, I mentioned earlier, the average, I would say, being very conservative is 3% cashback, although I see it much higher regularly, okay? I've seen it as high as 15%, but let's just say 3%. And now I also use a specific credit card for my Amazon business when making purchases that is 2% cashback on everything. So combined, I am earning 5% cashback on all of my purchases. And right now, I'm probably spending between $30,000 and $40,000 a month on inventory. Let's just say very soon I get to $50,000 a month spending on inventory, okay? And of that inventory, let's just say I break even. Don't even make a dollar on it. Well, 5% of $50,000 is $2,500 a month. Times that by 12 months, that's $30,000 cash back in a year just from using the right type of credit card and these free tool and extension sites like Rakuten. This has to be a part of your business. And by the way, I hope to one day get to a point of spending $100,000 a month on inventory, which means I would get $5,000 cash back a month, which means $60,000. I can live comfortably on $60,000 a year, even if I don't make profit on the products. And by the way, just for what it's worth, these sites, it's not like you have to just use them for your Amazon purchases. You're gonna buy other purchases for your everyday life too. You might as well reap the benefits. So like I said, while it's fresh of mind and I just got a recent payout, I wanted to talk about it. You have to be using Rakuten and other sites like it. It's free, they're seamless, they're intuitive. It's literally just clicking a button and you are going to see the money pile up and pile up. It helps with getting you started if you don't know what stores to look at. And even if you don't need to, it's going to add a lot of money to your bottom line for however you see fit. So make sure you're using sites like Rakuten today.